What's up, everybody? This is Thomas Bahamas, and I am super excited to welcome Jecy from All Domains to the Solana Weekly podcast. All Domains is bringing identity to Solana wallets, and I think this is a super underutilized space in Solana right now. So I'm pumped to dive into this. Jecy's rocking an SMB profile picture on Twitter and is world renowned for being the sixth best walker in the Moonwalker app ever. Welcome, Jecy. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for that intro. Um, wow.
I told you we
Yeah,
were friends on Twitter a little while back when Moonwalk just came out. And I think that you were out walking everybody so much that everybody was like, getting injured trying to keep up with you. So very, very good work there.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, there was lots of conversation about how many people had to like ice their knees down and take all kinds of breaks to try and keep up with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's funny because like I've accomplished a lot of things in my life, but for some reason that's how people know me now. Like I'll enter a business chats and people say, "Oh, Jecy, the girl who walks 20,000 steps a day," and I'm like, "Yep, that's me." Not the girl who got multiple degrees or helps run a company. I walk.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst thing to be known for,
No, it's
it's
not,
like companies.
especially not in this space.
Yeah. And I struggle to get 10,000 steps. I have been losing money on Moonwalk lately, and it's no good. But let's get down to it. So what I really wanted to talk to you and the team about is All Domains, and just kind of wanted to start from the beginning. And start from first principles. What are domain names? Why are they important? And why should some of our users get some?
Okay. So domain names are alternative wallet addresses, right? So, so when you have a wallet address, it's not human readable. It's too many digits. There's ample room for error, especially for people who aren't familiar with crypto transactions. Like if I were to try and explain to my mother how to use a wallet and send funds back and forth, that would be one of the hangups for her. She would be worried, like, what if I copy paste it wrong, or what if a digit is missing and my money gets sent out into the abyss? And I think a lot of people have that fear or that problem, and I think it creates a barrier to onboarding. So that's where domains come in and where they are very important. But at All Domains, we take it a step further, and we want to make it very clear that it's not just a wallet address, it is your digital identity. And it's going to be a lot larger than just wallet addresses as crypto becomes part of the imminent future, and everything here evolves. Like you're going to want to have control of your identity the same way that you have control of passports, because it'll be that important.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's funny about onboarding people. I always say that copy paste is one of the most important functions for crypto, right? If you're sending money to anywhere, you need to have that address exactly right. Where if it's a dot Solana address, send it to Solana Weekly at Solana, and you send it right to me. You completely abstract that away, and I think that we need that, right?
Yeah, it removes the fear and it removes the occurrence of human error. I mean, it'll still happen from time to time, but they'll be a lot less frequent, those errors, and everybody will just be much more calm about transacting on chain.
Yeah. So you just brought up passports. I was recently talking to somebody, and there's some sort of ZK protocol on ETH. I don't know what layer or anything, but they're actually like taking passports and putting them on chain. Have you heard of that at all? I have no idea what the protocol is. I wish I knew more about it, but that was something I heard. I said that seems amazing.
No, I haven't heard of it, but now that you mentioned it, I'm gonna spend the rest of the day searching it out, and try and create a partnership with them. Um,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
there should be digital identities tied into those.
I 100% agree, and I could connect you with Daria who told me about it. But yeah, it seems like there could be so much more tied into it. Like another thing, the reason why that came up was I told a story last time about how my social security number has been hacked probably like 6 or 7 times in the last couple of years. So you get these
Yeah.
notifications that all these bigger businesses get hacked, your data gets leaked, and they have everything about you, right? Like there is no protection. All my stuff is just out there. I don't know where that goes eventually, but it seems like they need to have better security. There needs to be a better way to kind of protect that. I don't know where exactly, the domain names are going to come in to fix that, but it seems like that's on the way towards fixing it. Does that ring true to you?
Yes, it does. Yeah. I'm not sure the mechanics behind all of it, right? But we're getting there and we're building towards it. And the fun thing about all domains is that with every new partnership and every like custom domain that we launch for different companies, like our clients help innovate with us. Like they have crazy ideas and they say, like, or they sound crazy at first. They have ideas that sound crazy at first and they want to go for it. And we've never thought about it or heard of it before, but it's like, okay, let's make it happen. And then we build with them and it furthers their company and our company at the same time. So in situations like this, where like we want our digital identities to be like a passport, or I always use the reference, multi-pass, right? Like a multi-pass where it does everything for you. We need to be creating those partnerships with those people so that we're on the forefront of all of those things that are happening. And yes, it does seem like there should be a better way to protect it. There should be an easier process for all of this. And that's what we hope to solve.
That's great. That's like the best way to grow is like when you have users that are that engaged and they love your platform so much that they're telling you what features they want. So you can kind of pull those together and decide, where to direct development, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, like half of the stuff that we've done has been because we launched a partner domain, specifically like Icon. I like to use them as an example. Like we had never thought about using our domains for like gating an ecosystem, and they didn't have an NFT collection, so they launched domains, and this was like a year ago now. They gated their Discord with it, and then all of a sudden this light bulb went off. Like, wow, we're missing out on so many different areas of marketing and so many other things that we could be doing, and look what they just showed us. And then it just like from there, it has just completely snowballed. Like every new partner has come up with a new idea and helped us grow our platform and theirs. And it's just been so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So one thing that kind of came to my mind as I was preparing for this was like, how to view identity in Web3. I think it's a pretty funny topic, right? It's like, I want to have domain names. Like I have a bunch of different domain names, like, and it used to be to like flex NFTs, like, oh, you want to check out my NFT profile, check out my address. But that's kind of changing a little bit. And, especially with like the meme coin mania, it's like you don't want to sell from any of your main accounts. And I mean, you don't want to have any of your wallets with, large amounts be transacting a bunch anyways, right? So it's kind of like a balance of like, you want to flex so like certain wallets, with your domains, but other ones you kind of want to keep as anonymous as possible. Like, is that something that you guys are noticing, or like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely something that we all are aware of, right? We don't talk about it a whole lot because we hope that everybody just wants a domain in every single wallet, but that is not the truth, right? And you're right. I don't do any major trading from any of my domain wallets because people like I've set all my domains up to make sure that they show on Bird Eye and all of those places. Then people will flag me immediately, be like, look what Jecy did, or look at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dump in the dirt.
yeah, yeah.
Um, So yeah, and it goes beyond just the domain thing, right? There's a need or a desire for anonymity in Web3 in general, and that's why a lot of us came here in the first place. And but right now there's a shift happening where we have to become a little bit less decentralized in order to onboard the masses, and we need to become a little bit more transparent about things in order to onboard the masses. So we're trying to find that balance in between, I suppose, would be my thought on it. You can't control it all. You won't ever put a domain into every single wallet, but I think that riding the wave or that fine line in between the two is where we are.
Yeah, yeah. Because nobody wants to get that message when your name pops up on Bird Eye for dumping a meme coin, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it also kind of almost is like a little bit of a security thing too, right? Because I, yeah, I mean, you want to maybe flex an NFT or two, but you don't want to show if you made $10 million off of a random meme coin, that would almost kind of put like a target on your back, right? So, um, I guess there's a lot to it there.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, yeah, maybe, now that we're talking about this, maybe there should be some kind of domain best practices in today's Web3 world document that we throw together, like to make it known that like, yes, we understand you want to protect the anonymity of some of your transactions, but there's also all these advantages. So here's how we suggest setting up your wallets.
Yeah. Wallet use in general is like pretty loose. I feel like especially a lot of like the Solana meme coin, like the degenerates, just, hot wallets with way too much money in them, not double checking what they're doing. So I feel like any sort of guidance is probably good. Yeah.
Yeah. If we can get them to read it, right?
Yeah. 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 There's that. So let's see. Recently, did you go to Breakpoint?
I did, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. How was it?
It was incredible. I took my son with. He's been coming with me to Web3 events since he was like had just turned 2 years old.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he like so I'm gonna go off on my son's tangent for a second here. He has his own like NFTs and he's very aware of everyone in the ecosystem. Like he knows who Nam is, he knows who KW is. Like because he hears me talk about them and engage with them all the time. So he was thrilled to meet everybody and like thrilled to cheer Nam on in the bunk boxing ring. And it was like he's heard about it all these years and he's come with me all these years, but I always leave him with a nanny when I go to the actual event. So this was the first time he got to actually come into the conference and shake people's hands and see Solana for what it really is. And like, I'm just raising the future.
Yeah, that is so awesome. It's great to be able to expose your kid to all these different areas, all these different people out there. Like you really open up your eyes. I mean, I didn't leave the country until I was like, what, like 20? So it's
Yeah,
great.
I didn't travel until I was much older, but he's probably been to like 10 different countries and he's been to like every NFT NYC. This was his first breakpoint. So yeah, it was wonderful. We had a great time. I loved watching his little face light up as he met everybody. But outside of my son, the conference itself was really incredible. I love getting together and meeting with all of our friends and our partners, like, putting faces to names and internet handles, things. It's always a good time. Lots of business partnerships come out of it too. So it's equal parts fun and business.
Yeah, yeah. I always have wanted to go to one, but I can't go for the similar reasons. We have a 1-year-old and 3-year-old, both girls, and we can't really travel, yet. Well, we'll be there eventually, but it was kind of funny when I originally bought my first SMB, my Solana monkey business. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this monkey. I'm gonna go to Breakpoint. I'm gonna hang out with all of them, and then we had a kid, and I realized like, oh, you just can't really do that. It's not in the cards for me right away. So yeah, it's amazing. And it's amazing what you're doing. I think that where you're able to, work in Web3, travel in Web3, and then you also get to bring your son with you. So I think that's awesome. And, we could probably turn this into a parenting podcast if we wanted to keep going down this, but that's not what the people are here for. So Breakpoint seemed amazing. And like the best part for me was like, finding like everyone kind of holds back like what they're doing and they have their big release when they go to Breakpoint. They release like the latest things that they're doing. And I know that one of the things that you guys did was you brought out the .solana domains and you said, I think that was when you guys released that there's going to be yield on them. Is that correct?
Yes. So we are waiting for our token launch to take place. And when it does, we will initiate pools on all of our different TLDs. So you can earn yield technically on any of our TLDs, but all of the profits that we are earning are off of our Solana or a portion of the profits. Don't quote me on all of it. I don't know the exact percentage, but a large portion of the profits, if not all of it, are going right back into the pool. Which will, as it grows, will increase the yield that everybody's getting paid out. So the more Solanas that sell, the more money everybody is making, and we grow the pie together.
Awesome. I'm doing my part. I bought a
Yay.
lot. I saw yield and I just instantly started buying up all the Solana ones. So yeah, and I guess that this is kind of a departure from how we've seen domains on Solana before, right? Before it was it's Bonfida with the .sols, where you buy one of those addresses and you just have it forever. Where that it kind of has, I guess, an advantage to the user where you have it. You own that address forever. But the downside is that you own it forever, right? And you're not going to be transferring them as much. And there's not necessarily as much money going into the system, right? Because you got to buy it and then you have to re-up it, right? When I bought my domain, you pick how many years that you want it. I bought mine for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And then that will come up and then I'll rebuy that and keep it going. Is that an accurate way? Like, is that why you guys are able to have that yield? Why you guys are able to will be able to kind of build a better like engine as far as that goes?
Yes, I think that that is an accurate take there. The there are multiple advantages and disadvantages to both Bumpsita and ourselves, right? Like the advantages to us are like because they are renewable, it's much easier for us to create not only the yield scenario, but we also generate revenue streams for all of our partners, you know? Um, and it's because we're renewable that we're able to do that so easily. We could do it without them being renewable, but eventually you would hit a sort of like a cliff and sales would fall off and there goes your revenue stream. But the way that it's designed is everybody continues to win. Our domains are priced at a much lower price point than Bonefita because you have to renew them. And we also let our partners like give input on the pricing as well. So like we have a standard pricing bracket per year and if the partners want it to be lower or higher, they're able to do that. So like for instance, Bonk, we launched the .bonk domains with them a couple years ago. At the time, Bonk's price was much lower than it is now. They were affordable initially, and now to get a .bonk domain, I think it's somewhere around like $1,400, maybe even more now that the token has gone up over the past few days. So everyone was priced out, and Nam and the team wanted everybody to be able to have a Bonk domain, and they wanted to tie it into their Dragon campaigns. So we launched the Let's Bonk with them, and then to ensure that everybody was able to get one, we lowered the price point for them like dramatically from our standard pricing bracket so that anybody in any country would be able to afford one and not have that barrier. And then, so what's fun about it too is like not only that does it create that revenue stream and you can earn yield off of it, but they can come up with whole new campaigns every year, if the partners want to. Like they did the Dragon Tail piece for the initial campaign, but next year, if they want to have another Let's Bonk campaign, they can come up with something else that'll boost their sales. It's like we're here to cross market with everyone to like grow the pie in any way possible, yield, revenue, or any idea you can come up with. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And I am a .bonk enjoyer. I bought one, when they first came out, and it was like I forget how much bonk it was, but it was like I don't know, it was like sub $20, sub $50, and now it's worth a ton.
yeah.
Uh, I went to buy another one recently. I was like, man, this is way too expensive. This is way out of my budget. But it's kind of cool that it's almost like if you got your .bonk address early, you're gonna have that, for as long as you can hold on to it. Or actually, do we have to re-up those too?
No, the dot bonks are permanent.
Are they? Okay.
And that would,
Okay.
yeah, there's only a couple of our domains are permanent, and that's one of them
Okay.
because Bonk was doing such an incredible thing for the ecosystem. It was only right for us to make them be forever.
Yeah. I'm like the biggest bonk fan ever. I love the .bonk addresses. And I mean, as the price of bonk keeps going up and up, it's like those are only going to be more and more rare. So that's pretty cool. And then I have the .let's bonk as well because I mean I had to, right?
Yeah, you gotta get your dragon tail piece. Plus, you just gotta support the dog, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. The dog's gonna run, so you got to do that. That's awesome. And because I bought those, I have a bunch of points in my account. So it's running. It's like these points are effectively going to be some sort of yield down the line, or is that how that works?
Well, points typically equate to a drop. And I'm neither confirm nor deny that at this point in time. But yeah, you can farm points to increase your later rewards, which should be coming in the near future.
Yeah.
And this is just season one right now too. So, you can farm it now, get rewarded, and then there'll be additional seasons afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Everyone likes drop. Everyone likes points, and I mean, I think everyone should like domains too. So it's kind of like a win-win to me. I mean, I think you should have a couple domains in here. I mean, if you're going to send money to anybody, the way that you currently, or at least the way that I usually do it if I'm with friends, is like you send it to Venmo, right? And it's like you can do it because it's super easy. You click their name. And I think that domain names will eventually be, that easy, right? You have your friends contact list. It's not, a bunch of string of numbers and letters. It's, SolanaWeekly.Solana, right? And then you select that, send your bomb to me, and then there you go, right? I think that that's, the future that I see happening with crypto.
Man, you just gave me a crazy idea. Um, like, I'm gonna spill it right here on the podcast. Um, we wouldn't it be incredible if we could build like a money exchanging platform based around domains that was like the Web3 version of Venmo? And I'm sure that there's one that exists, but is it domain centric? Probably not.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that. I'm gonna make
Do
that
it.
happen. Yeah. Because yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Venmo is the go-to, and I try to tell my friends, like I have a few friends who I'm constantly in real life exchanging money with, and a couple of them don't have a Venmo, but they have a Phantom wallet, and I love those situations because it's so much
Oh,
easier
yeah.
for me. I don't have to transfer money out. I don't like when I have to take the money off chain to do things. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Even with my friends, like in real life that are into crypto, like if we do something together, like we still end up Venmoing most of the time, and it's like, it's why are we doing this? And especially now, PayPal with everything that they've done coming on chain with their stable coin, like you can actually just send PYUSD out of your Venmo into your Phantom, right? So I think that I feel like people were kind of like, bashing PayPal a little bit recently because they spent all this money giving yield. But I think what it actually did was it was a great marketing campaign to get people to realize like, hey, we're PayPal, we're serious about this. If you have money in your Venmo, bring that on chain. It's a matter of sending it really easily. So I see those like borders of like Venmo and especially with Solana because everything's so quick and easy and user friendly. Those lines I think are going to be blurred, right?
yeah, definitely. And we're getting there right now, right? I don't fully understand everything that PayPal did, but I do know that we integrated IUSD in our platform, and we have an open like business chat with them, where we're
Yeah.
constantly like trying to come up with ideas and ways that we can work together. So I think, yeah, you're right. Those lines they're already blurring. I mean, PayPal had a huge cubicle, I want to say, at Breakpoints that was kind of in the middle of the center floor, and they were taking Polaroid photos with everybody that had the like PayPal logo across the bottom and getting really involved in the Solana ecosystem. So while it doesn't like everybody's not grasping it yet, myself included, I think that they are making an incredible effort to come on chain and bring people on chain and be a part of what we have going on. So cheers to them.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's huge. I mean, they're a massive company, right? So for them to be doing anything in this space and especially that big, like I don't know how much money they incentivized everybody, but it was millions and millions of dollars that they were pushing out. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Um, Now, as far as domain names go, I got to bring up the ETH one. So ENS was the first one that really put out domain names, I think, and it was a big launch on ETH. Um, and I think that it's went really successfully, right? And it's a kind of similar model to all domains where you have to renew them every so many years or however long you buy it for. And I bought one of these, and it was like $500, a few years back. I remember like bragging to my wife about it, and I was so excited about having this thing. And she was like, "That was the stupidest thing like you've ever done. Like, tell me, put a 1 year." She made me like put like a 1 year reminder in my calendar to bring up how much it was worth in a year. And sure enough, it like wasn't worth that much. And I don't even know how to sell it anymore, so it's probably just gonna be gone. I don't use ETH for much anymore, so I have no use for it. But I feel like that kind of started the whole concept of domain names. And I feel like the ETH ecosystem has a lot more identity associated with their wallets. Do you see the difference at all? Or did you guys study ENS or look at what ENS did at all?
We definitely did. And we've studied unstoppable domains a lot too, which is
Oh,
like it's like the ETH counterpart of what we are doing, right?
yeah.
So yeah, and they have a ton. They've sold like an incredible amount of domains. Like we hope to reach that point one day, right? And yes, you're right. Like their value has gone way down, but I think that's because like a lot of like hype surrounding NFTs in general have gone down and sort of took the domain space with it. But the difference is like we hadn't really attached use cases to either NFTs or domains that would transfer over into the real world because it's like duh, you don't like. I mean, this would be my normal person take, right? Like, duh, why? Like, just like your wife, that's the dumbest thing you've ever done. And then with NFTs, people say, you could just screenshot it, or just or right click save or whatever, But there are real world cases for both of them to be attached. And as the lines continue to blur in many different ways between Web3 and the real world, the value is going to go back up, especially that ETH domain that you have. Like it might not be worth money now and it might sit there for a long time. But I do think like even if it's just a historical value that gets attached to it at some point, it will be valuable again one day. I don't know what they're building or if they continue to build that would add value otherwise, but definitely historical value is going to it's going to play into all of this. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, for a little while, those domains were going for a lot of money, like multiple ETH sales, like were very consistent, right? Like, so a lot of them, like, I wouldn't even know how to like properly price it or anything like now, but I mean, there were like good .eth, like beer.eth, I think Budweiser bought for 30 ETH or something like that.
oh my gosh.
There was a lot of like big sales like that. Maybe it was kind of in the middle of like the ETH NFT mania, and that's what it was. But I feel like they, at least come when I look at the two different ecosystems as far as, like pricing, I feel like the ETH domains went for so much more value than what any of the Sol domains did, right? Like I couldn't tell you a single big like .sol sale that comes to mind, right? Where I could bring up a Budweiser purchase for ETH, right?
Yeah, yeah, and there was a lot of those each ones that made headlines,
Yeah,
like real world headlines.
yeah,
Big companies like Pepsi and things were getting involved. Um, and I think honestly, when Solana domains launched, all the confidence was still in Ethereum, so those big sales wouldn't have happened on Solana at that point in time because everybody was like, well, why would you want a Solana domain when Ethereum is where it's at?
yeah,
And now the tides have really turned. And I think there needs to be a domain service that like sort of reignites that passion underneath
yeah,
them and lets people like brings to the forefront of people's attention, like how how big of a role they can and will play in the future, which is like the marketing angle that Ethereum had taken. And they were right. They were just on the wrong chain. No offense to Ethereum lovers. I love it too, but it's just like as far as real world use cases go, it's just not happening.
yeah,
Um, so, and then since you bring up the .eths and we're talking .sol too, like a lot of, I just want to, while we're on the topic, mention that a lot of those original .sol sales, there was some hype that happened on our chain, but a lot of those sales were coming directly from like the FTX Foundation and Alameda and stuff, is because they were purchasing a lot of them in bulk in very specific wallets to try and create hype around them the way that the ETH domains had. And they thought if
yeah,
we can show a lot of sales, there's just like this graveyard of domains and all those wallets that are unavailable. And they had bought a whole lot of the good ones. A whole lot of the ones that you would need to onboard the masses and the big companies are now dead, sitting in some wallet, will never be listed. The wallet keys have been lost or the people are in prison, not naming any names. Um, so there's also a bit of that barrier there. So at All Domains, it's like our mission to not only spread the good word about domains in general, but make it known that like now that Solana is becoming the real world chain, that everything that we thought youth domains would be is what we're going to be, and we're going to do it bigger and better because we could make them custom for your community as well.
yeah, yeah. There never really was like that domain cycle on Sol. And it's funny that you bring up that it was FTX that was buying a lot of those early domains because when FTX actually went broke, they held a bunch of FIDA tokens, right? They had millions worth of FIDA tokens that they marked up at a super high value that they couldn't actually sell. Um, So I feel like there's like a little bit of a checkered past with that. And also, one gripe that I had with them, like I think that they actually played a pretty big part in like developing smart contracts early on in Solana, and they started like right away. But when when you bought a domain there when they first started, it created an auction, right? So I forget how long it went for, maybe like maybe a week or so, but you buy the domain or you put an offer in, and then it would kick off an auction. So anybody else could buy it. They'd know exactly what you'd be going for. So it was kind of like adversarial right in the beginning. Um,
I remember that, and that's why I don't own Jecy.Sol, is because every time I tried, it would create an auction. I was like, "No, I don't wanna auction this." Like, and at that point in time, um, it was like if the auction was created, yeah, it does. It's like begging people to come and compete with you for that domain, you know?
yeah. Yeah. And you brought up another good topic too. The fact of like dead domains, like any domain that's not being used and that, or say you lost the keys for like FTX's wallet, those are never coming back, right? I think the way that you guys have it set up where you have to renew it is a better option, especially like long term. Like not only is it like a way to generate money, but also it's a way to keep those domains alive, right? Like those other ones are just gonna go down with the FTX estate and never come back, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's why we do the renewable. That was the original thought behind it is we don't want that to happen. We don't want somebody to come in and be able to claim Solana monkey business dot Solana who isn't part of the team and then hold on to it forever. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Because they are identities. They should be in the hands of their rightful owners. And even if it doesn't happen immediately, if somebody snags it from the get, it'll come back up and be available for sale again later.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that I was reading is there's something about where you can kind of bridge Web 2 and Web 3 domains. Can you go into a little bit more about that? Is that the .id addresses or what exactly is that?
Yes, it's our .id addresses, and they function both in Web 2 and in Web 3. So if you owned thomasbahamas.id,
I
you
do.
too. Yeah, you do? Okay,
I think you
that
guys
is
put them out as a blink and I'm pretty sure I bought that one.
incredible. You're like you should be an ambassador. Um, you could use it as your wallet address, and you can also like connect your websites to it and everything. So when people go into any browser, you should be able, like, if your website is linked to it accurately, be able to type it into the search bar, and it'll pull up your website with your domain.
Really? So is that hard to link that up? Because I could probably link up
I
my site to that. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you definitely can, and I don't think that it's hard at all. I remember I wrote an article about it once, and
Did you?
if I'm able to understand it, it's definitely not hard.
Okay.
I'm not a big brain when it comes to the technical side of everything, but I was able to grasp all of that. And if
Cool.
you try to do it and you have any issue, you could, like, the guys in the Discord will be able to help you set it up. Very
Okay.
easily. But I think that we purposely made it simple, so that because people who want a Web 2, Web 3 domain oftentimes are coming from Web 2 and don't understand Web 3. So we need it to be simple for everyone. And that's the thought process behind it all. And like that idea is our first one, but we plan on doing a lot more, like eventually having all of our domains be functional on either side. And we're working with a few new partners right now who specifically want to launch domains that are hybrid like that, so that they can help onboard the masses. And they already have like huge Web 2 clientele then that would be like obligated to buy one of these in order to keep their section of platform running type scenario. So yeah, the future's bright for the hybrid domains for sure.
Yeah, I see that being a pretty cool crossover. And there was actually something with ENS where you could go to like a specific website dot whatever your domain was dot eth, and it would take you to I think you had a website that you could build or something like that. So there was something like that that ETH was doing that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
now something that sorry, did I interrupt you there?
No, not at all. I was
Oh,
thinking though, that's a good you're giving me all kinds of great ideas. It would be awesome if like somebody bought a hybrid domain and they don't have a website to link to it, if we could provide them with like, one of those links to like Weebly or those like website building pages, like encourage them to use it that way. That's an area we're missing out on. You're full of great ideas, Tom.
Yeah, I'm an ideas guy. I'm not the builder. So,
Mhm.
I give out ideas all day long. Um, and one of these, okay, another one that came up, was, I don't know if you've heard about this, and I don't even know if it's real. Like, this could have been fake marketing, but AVAX, the Avalanche blockchain,
Yeah.
somehow got together with the California DMV to put California driver's licenses on the blockchain.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen any proof of this. I don't know if like where they're at, but like somehow it made it seem like the DMV was like actually interested in doing this. And I don't want to use AVAX for this. I want you guys to take this on.
You're right. Nobody wants to use AVAX.
No.
I mean, I take that back. There's probably some wonderful things happening on AVAX. I do hold some of the token because I'm confident that it's going to do the thing this bull run. But yeah, we definitely should be the ones behind that. And if I'm surprised, that I feel like any blockchain can very easily like prey on Web2 companies right now who don't understand blockchain technology. And like then people like AVAX can go in and convince the DMV that like launching it on their chain is a good idea when in reality it's like obviously AVAX isn't going to be the real world like forefront of blockchain technology, like I don't know. There was another one too. There was like I want to say it was AVAX also that had like gotten Amazon, the Amazon Web Services was like building on AVAX. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think I remember hearing that too. Like
Maybe
big
for self
announcements from
AVAX.
there. Yeah. We gotta talk to their BD person. They like
Serious.
on that. But I mean, I used to use AVAX back when it was like first launching. It was like the Solana, Luna and AVAX trade, and they had great
Oh,
buy, and it was pretty fast. But I don't know. I haven't really looked at that whole ecosystem for a long time. I'm sure they're doing great. You know.
I'm sure that they're doing wonderful. I'm sure they're thriving. They did launch like a friend tech type competitor thing
Yes,
that's really popular.
Stars Arena.
There
Stars
you go.
Arena. Yeah, I got on there. I tried to get some sort of airdrop, and I didn't.
I was so burnt by friend tech, like just how difficult it was to understand and function within that platform that when Stars Arena came out, I was just like, I'm not doing it this time.
And I got wrecked on all the Solana ones. I don't even know what their names were, Frenzy or something like Friendly, something like that. I bought a bunch of shares of all these people. The whole fix is zero. Yeah, good times, right?
It turns out our friends aren't that valuable.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like a domain could almost be like, yeah, you can have like a social media where it's like you log in with your domain and have that be it. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we think that too. And we've reached out to, the friend tech competitors, a lot of them, it was kind of clear that they weren't thinking long term, and we don't like to get involved with platforms who don't have the long term vision the way that we do because then we end up with like dead domains or like a dead partnership, or
Yeah.
like in certain scenarios we've launched domains in partnership with at what was at the time a big platform or a big coin, and then they just like stopped caring, and now we've got that on our website forever. And while I'm glad to continue to support them because they're a partner, like they aren't supporting themselves, and that doesn't look great. But we
Yeah.
agree, yeah, like domain names as gamer tags and domain names as social media handles, definitely. And we are working on that right now, I promise you. Mm.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. I feel like those are both like areas where a lot of money and a lot of like things have been tried, but nothing has really stuck. And it's just like, you just can't beat Twitter and, no video, no like gamers like blockchain. Right. So there's just like, I don't know. I think it'll eventually cross over, but I just haven't seen anything. And I don't play video games really. So I don't even know, but I just know that gamers don't like crypto.
Um, the game section at Breakpoint was amazing, by the
Oh,
way.
really?
Yeah, like you would be mind blown at how much development has been put into the games because, when you're on the feed, you always see tweets like, "Has anybody even built a usable game on Solana?" Like, stuff along those lines. And then you went into that gaming section and it's like, oh my gosh, incredible RPG 3D worlds that are ready for play right now. Like there was one called Earth from Another Sun. And we
Uh-huh.
never hear about that when we're scrolling. But man, the game was awesome. And they really want to do like domains as gamer tags and things like that. So it was a really strong point for me at Breakpoint because I had my son with me and it was really easy to take him into the gaming section and let him beta test everything while
Oh yeah.
while I talked business with people. So
There
I
you
ended up
go.
getting pretty deep into the gaming being built on Solana, and it's way more impressive than anybody even understands at this point in time. I think we're a
That's
lot closer than you think. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to check that out because I wouldn't have been able to tell you any game that I have played or anything. So that's worth looking into.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Mm, One question that probably is a bad one, but are you guys thinking about any sort of Worldcoin integration where you scan the eyes in?
Have we thought about it? I don't think we've even talked about it. I mean, I don't feel like I know enough about WorldCoin to speak really fluently on the topic, but I do believe that the scanning of the retinas is some sort of an identification type thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so but, there's room there for us to toss around some ideas and try to go for it. I don't know how. I think I'm skeptical about the world's adoption of WorldCoin.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I feel like it's an insane thing, and they've got the orb, and it's Sam Altman, and has like a bunch of the supply kind of thing. It seems insane.
Yeah. Well, and again, to like play devil's advocate here, like all good ideas come from a little bit of insanity, like the world changing ideas do have a little bit of insanity behind them. I guess maybe I should educate myself a little bit more about that because the only time that I ever really looked into it was when it had first launched. And we were all just like, what the heck is going on? Like, this is wild. But I do think that more recently, in the past few months, it has gotten a lot more traction, or people are talking about it again for some reason. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think when it came out, I think the whole crypto community in general just came out like super against it because I don't know. I feel like the anonymous culture of
mhm.
especially coiners came out like super against it. But when you think about it, like that's how you open your iPhone to this day, right? They like scans your face. So it's not like that far off or, it's like clear view at the airport where you scan your eyes to get to the front of the line or something like that. I don't know. It's a weird concept, but it's not that far off what we're already doing.
Yeah, no, it definitely isn't that far off. There's many times where I've gone through customs in the airport and I pulled my passport out expecting them to give us the third degree like they always did back in the day. And they don't even look at my passport because the cameras that I've walked by on the way up to customs have already identified who I am and told them that I had my passport and I'm safe to let through.
Oh,
So like
crazy.
the camera technology is already at that up at that level, and it's already doing that to us. So I don't think it's as crazy as we all think it was. But I do think that it caught the most backlash because we love to be anonymous, and that would have taken it away.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good. Cool. So I got a question about the future. Like, where do you see this all going? Right? With crypto, we've got games, we've got wallets, we've got cell phones. Like what I always envisioned as the future was like, especially when I got my Solana phone. Like, I got my Saga. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pay for everything in crypto. This is gonna be awesome. And then I got my phone, and it's like, oh, nowhere accepts this. Like, do you think that's gonna be the future as we're paying for things in Sol? Do you think everything's gonna be kind of on crypto rails? Like where do you see like this future going?
Mm, I think it'll take a couple generations before everything is paid with crypto.
Yeah.
Because you gotta wait. You gotta wait for like older generations and older ideologies to pass on, in order for it to take over. Because I mean, we could tell my mom that this is where it's going and we could teach her how to do it, but she's still, 50% or more of the time is going to pull cash out of her purse to pay for things. And you can't deny those people as a business owner because money is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I do think that I mean, there's a lot more payment methods being developed right now that would allow us to use crypto in stores, and a lot of that was showcased at Breakpoint. And then there was some that weren't even showcased at Breakpoint, but they were advertising at Breakpoint. Like in the latest FOMO magazine, there was an advertisement for a new like crypto card that would convert anything in your wallet that you connect to it to a valid payment form wherever you are, like whatever that country's currency is or whatnot, and allow you to pay right there with Solana. And I tried to sign up for it because it's in beta testing right now, but I was too late. They had already filled the beta group. But I think over the next 2 years, we're going to see a ton of that. We're going to see a ton of that. We're going to see a ton of platforms like Venmo and PayPal get further and deeper into it and come up with new solutions and ways to pay. And I think that as America becomes more accustomed to just tapping your phone and paying versus like having a card in hand, there'll be a lot more pathways there and it'll become easier as well. I don't know how domains specifically will tie into real world payment options outside of us forming partnerships with platforms like Venmo and PayPal and allowing people to like transfer money in and out there. But when it comes to like the actual like point of sale, like the domain isn't really necessary. It's just really the conversion of the currency. But we
Yep.
definitely want to be integrated into whatever platform is being used when you tap your phone. That's for sure. I don't think crypto's going away. I think it's only going to get bigger. It's simpler. My life is a lot easier since it's come into play. And when I have to use a real world bank or pull cash out for anything, I get really annoyed.
You're
Um,
the same. It's the same. When I sit in a bank, I'm just like, man, I could have done all of this by creating a wallet, in Phantom in a second. That's insane.
Exactly. It's like it's archaic and it's wasteful of my time. And we have such limited time on Earth that everything should be fluid and functioning at peak performance all the time. And I think that's where crypto comes into play because everybody on Earth needs money. Money makes the world go round. And so it should be one of the simplest, easiest things for us to do every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm kind of on board with everything you said. I kind of feel like it's inevitable and it's like, it's, it's just easier and better. So anybody that's used it and is behind it is like, all right, I'd go out of my way to pay, with Solana.
Oh,
Like if there was like, there was like Solana tourism, I'd go, if I could pay for Solana at Solana Beach, I'd go there on vacation. Right. Um, that's at least my mindset. Um, but let's see. I got a couple rapid fire questions. Are you still up for it? So I got a little bit of time.
yeah, you're lucky because when I'm in the Zoom call, I can't see the time on my phone. It's just you on the screen, so I have no idea how long we've been talking.
There we
So
go.
you're good to go.
All right. Sounds good. So a couple questions. What's the portfolio construction for kids?
Portfolio construction for kids. Well, Elliot, he does have a domain. He's got Elliot.letsborrow. Um,
Uh,
he has, copies of all his own NFTs in there. He's got a Solana monkey business, the Gen 3, the very cool one. He's got a hard hat on.
I've got a couple of the heart tops.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
And he's got, he holds some bonk. And when we were at Breakpoint, he got airdropped a couple other coins. But
Mhm.
he chose to swap those coins, some of them over into bonk because he loves Nam and he thinks bonk is going to run the world. And he's right. And
Yeah, he's not wrong.
yeah, he's not wrong at all. And then he swapped the rest of it over into a cat coin. It's done pretty well. He's like out trading us, honestly. uh, So obviously I'm helping him do all this stuff because we worry about mistakes and errors and he's still in training. But yeah, he's what else? Like other popular things. He has a Klano and like honestly, the kid's portfolio is less about what's digitally there and more about different communities that are including children, whether it be that their animations are cute or the products they're putting out are cute or they're doing something that makes him feel included. That's what his crypto world revolves around. So like he would probably never use Mango Market, but because they gave him a stuffed animal at Breakpoint, now he knows who Max from Mango is and he knows about everything Max is building and everything. So he also wants to talk directly to Cabanimation from Klanosaurus to let him know that there needs to be a kid section at the Klano parties because he's
He does.
wildly offended that he doesn't get to go to them.
Those are supposed to be the really fun parties too, and they normally give out like a new NFT to a lot of people, right?
Yeah, the NFTs and like at the last NFT NYC, they gave out, the the pack that you opened up had a picture of a Bonk Klano plushie on it and a QR on the back. And they finally put the eShop up the other day and he got to claim his and it's on the way in the mail now. So it's like, it's a Klano wearing a Bonk hoodie and he's like over the moon. He couldn't be more excited about it.
So cool. I had this NFT that's a DGen dad, and I made a recommendation for the collection to build a kids trust fund. And I became the trust fund advisor. We put all the funds in there and eventually we'll send it out to everybody. It just kind of took me down this weird path where it's like, all right, what's going to be around in, 15, 12 years? We usually just stick to Stake Soul or I have a couple for my daughters. It's just Stake Soul and Bonk. So, not too far off. No NFTs yet. Maybe when they're a little bit older.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll get there. And I mean, like, like not every parent would deeply involve their child in all this the way that I do, but it's just him and I don't have, it's either I involve him or he spends a lot of time feeling left out. And I don't want that either. So we've just figured out a way to like mold it all to fit him,
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's a great way to raise kids. I mean, keeping them involved, like allowing them to, see what you're really up to. That's awesome. And you're a super mom. I feel like that's awesome too. So
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be impressive to see what he builds later because we're all doing this and we didn't have any knowledge of it until just recently, but he's going to grow up on it. And so are your kids and all, all of our children. There's this huge network of parents on Solana.
yeah,
All of our children are going to have just like everything at their fingertips and all the knowledge readily available to make it happen if they so choose. Exciting.
yeah. Sounds good. Sorry, that wasn't that rapid of a fire question. Let's see. Next one. Are you guys going to go multi-chain at all?
We are multi-chain. Actually, we're live on 6 different chains right now. And we've got like, I want to say 5 or 6 more coming before end of year.
Awesome.
Right now, like because a lot of them are in DevNet. So it's not on our official website yet, but we've made the announcements on Twitter. So we are going to be the main domain provider for Eclipse. And they're launching mainnet by the end of the month. And when it
Okay.
goes live, their onboarding process is going to be like include purchasing a domain from us. So there'll be .turbo domains, which is their mascot. And everybody who uses Eclipse Chain is going to be prompted to buy one of those in order to like complete their onboarding process and get a potential like Eclipse airdrop. Maybe I don't know. There's a reason why they want everyone to go through the process. Where else are we? We're on Sonic, which is like a gaming chain. We will be on Monad, hoping to be main domain provider there, but it's a free market. And for all we know, there's somebody else building to be the main domain provider as well. So we'll just do our best. We're on a chain called Yona, which is like a Bitcoin L2. Who
So most
else?
of these are SVM chains, right? Like Eclipse and Sonic are those both Solana L2s
Um,
or SVM?
uh, Eclipse, I think, is EVM.
Oh, is that?
No, Eclipse is SVM. And then what is it? Monad is EVM. I don't know. I get the two of them mixed up a lot. But yeah, so basically what it means is once we're live on Eclipse, our infrastructure is built out to be live on any SVM. So all we have to do is ask to like integrate our code, right? And then we're live. Bam, there you go. And we are building out a partnership with Wormhole right now, which will allow us to be anywhere. We can bridge to any chain as long as the infrastructure is there for us, like on the arrival side. So
Oh, that's huge.
yeah, we're taking it, man.
Yeah. Oh no, that sounds like you guys are. That's great. Since you guys are taking over, one question that I have is, can all domains save my NFTs from going to zero?
I don't know. We can try. We'd have to try. Um, I don't know how we would even do that. We would have to find like new collections and we'd create a ton of hype around them and do like custom domains with them and then create some sort of like tiered reward structure that goes along with it. But that's a hard one.
Yeah.
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 I do think that NFTs will have their day again. I just think that it looks a lot different than it used to.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like now is the part in the cycle where like NFTs should be going crazy, but it's all meme coins now. It's crazy.
Well, now meme coins all are doing profile pictures for everybody. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so
It's gone
it
for
used
full circle, right?
Yeah, you see more meme profile pictures than you do actual NFTs. So then that's really like, all right, now the NFTs, so I don't know where that leaves them. Like everybody hated on them for building out utility, but now it feels like they must really need utility in order to make a comeback. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like my heart is breaking a little bit for our NFT bags as I say all this.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll come back. You know,
Yeah.
I know it. Let's see. Favorite meme coin that, that you have.
Well, Bonk is my favorite, but I also don't really consider Bonk a traditional meme coin because it's so much more than that. Secondary to Bonk is Popcat, just because I have a lot of it. Um, and it's treated me very well.
Doing well. Yeah. Must be doing well with that one. That's awesome. Yeah. But Buck's my favorite. And then I just play around with the other ones. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Right. I tried to never get attached to another coin the way that I am attached to Bonk, but then like Popcat just stole my heart and just keeps stealing my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and it's funny. It's like I'll be in like some coins that I'll swap it to bonk, and then it's like, all right, well, that money is like in savings. I'm just gonna leave that there,
Yeah.
not worry about it at all.
No, and
Uh,
that's the thing too. That's what I love about Bonk is you put the money in there and you don't have to worry. It's like every other coin, no matter how well it's doing, you always have that in the back of your head, like, wow, this might go to zero. But I don't have to fear that with Bonk. I know that my money is safe there and that it's gonna treat me well. Even if it goes sideways for years, like I still feel a lot better with my money being in bonds than I do it being anywhere.
yeah, me too. Me too. It's like they just do everything. And
Yeah.
that's great. Um, Speaking of bonk, are .bonk domains the best domains?
Are .bonk domains the best domains?
Yeah.
Oh, hard question. They are up there. Um, they they definitely are up there. Um, I don't I feel like I can't answer that question honestly without possibly offending other partners. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. We'll move on to the next one. How do you walk so far? What's the secret to walking 30,000 steps in a day? I've never hit that many steps my whole time on Moonwalk, my whole Moonwalk career. Never gone up
um,
that far.
well, every morning I wake up around 5 a.m. and I have meetings. I have like five 5 or 6 hours of meetings a day, honestly. And so I feed my son breakfast and then I just get on the treadmill and I walk through my meetings. There's a desk on the treadmill where the computer sits so that I keep working and I have my phone in my hand. So I'm tweeting from all the accounts that I run while I'm in the meetings like I am with you right now and I'm walking the whole time. And the secret is just to be okay with exhaustion, right?
Yeah,
It keeps
man.
me motivated. It
Yeah,
keeps me multitasking, like, because I'm constantly walking, I don't have a chance to let my brain lull at all and fall off on other tasks. It keeps me doing everything that I need to do. And then I sleep better at night, you know?
yeah. I need to get a treadmill desk, is what it sounds like. We're in this stage where like my oldest daughter doesn't like to be in the stroller anymore. She likes to walk everywhere, and she can't walk that far. So my steps have gone down. Like I used to walk 3+ miles a day. I'd hit my 10,000 steps and be great. Where now it's like I get to 7,000 steps and I'm cheering, and I gotta walk circles around my living room, and I don't always want to do that. You know?
I've been there. Like I do like laps around the kitchen island while I'm cooking dinner and stuff if I'm falling behind. But
Yeah.
yeah, and
Sometimes.
then I keep telling KW like there needs to be like a multiplier for people with small children because oftentimes you
Yes.
expect you're carrying your kids the whole way and that's gonna count for extra, you know?
But you didn't have. Yeah, there needs to be something there. I mean, my daughter sometimes will come up to me towards the end of the night and say, "How many steps do you have?"
You got
Oh man, let's see. So what? Last question. What age did you start traveling with your kid? I think you mentioned two. Is that right?
yeah, 2 is when I started bringing him to conferences with me. He was born and then COVID hit like shortly afterwards. So there was about a year where we didn't travel just because like nobody was legally allowed to travel. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
as soon as like flights opened back up and we were able to get on a plane, we started moving around. Um, and the way that I do it is I use like care.com and nannies ahead of time. And so he comes with me and during the daytime we plan like touristy activities and I get him cultured wherever we are. And then around like 3 or 4 PM, the nanny takes over and I go to all my Web3 events.
So badass. That's awesome.
It's
That's awesome.
it
You,
is
you,
awesome. It's like it's costly, right? It costs money. It's not
yes.
cheap, but my only other option is leaving behind, and then I'm paying for a nanny that's there 24 hours, and it's almost like equally as expensive. So he may as well just come with.
Yeah, it's so much better for him to come along. I think that's awesome that you do that. I'm sure that it makes things harder, but I feel like that's going to be like such an awesome childhood for him. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely makes things harder, but it's going to be the best memories of my life and his too, probably, right? And as he gets older, he knows that like my job never put an impede on our relationship. You know, like he just do everything.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so in 1 year, I will be doing some traveling, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. You should. I mean, like I don't know what your wife does, but if you guys get the opportunity to like go and take the kids along with, like you should. It's fun. It's fun, and I know that it's really hard, but I would say worth it. Like for the opportunity that it brings, and if you are planning on like advancing the podcast or doing any other work in Web3, it's like the connections you make and all the business opportunity that lies at those different events is definitely worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Eventually we will. We do take them, on like small getaways, but like the big vacations, I feel like the long travel, we're not quite there yet. Like we've done a couple flights, but we'll see. We got some plans for next year. So I think that I'm gonna have to fly solo with two kids back from Hawaii. So that's gonna be like the ultimate test.
Yeah,
And we'll see how it goes. But definitely worth it, right?
yeah, definitely. Lots of snacks and tablets.
Yeah, yeah. The snacks, just never ending snacks, right?
Yeah. Fruit snacks fix so many troublesome scenarios. They're a
Yeah.
godsend.
Sounds good. Well, hey, Jesse, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate all the knowledge that you dropped. I'm hoping that all the users get their first domain. Give us a shout out if you do. Any last minute words that you want to leave the listeners with?
Yeah, I always end all my interviews with, if you have not yet secured your digital identity, you need to do so sooner rather than later, because it's your identity and you want to have control of that heading into the future where Web3 identities are going to be so important and play such an important role. So make sure that you get it and use it and let us know. Let us know how you like it and tell your friends.
Yeah, and it sounds like now is a good time to get in nice and early and get comfortable using it, set it as your main domain and get going. So once
Exactly.
again, really appreciate it, Jesse. And thanks again.
Thank you.